Guys, before we get into the first two lessons, I really want to just go into the basics of set theory. So some of you guys have probably seen bits and pieces of it in the past, but we really want to dig in a little bit deeper today. So to start out, I would like for you guys to think about this survey. So there's two totally random things. Do you like Smoothie King? Do you like going to Worlds of Fun? So there's going to be 4 groups of you guys that I predict will turn out. So some of you will like Smoothie King. Some of you guys will like Worlds of Fun. Some of you guys like neither of them. And some of you will like both of them. And so that's where the Venn diagram comes in. So I'll call this circle like Smoothie King. And I'll call this circle like Worlds of Fun. So this concept of Venn diagram, this should be familiar to you. So I'm going to push pause and put some names in, and we'll get back. Okay, so if you'll notice here, I have the characters of Friends. So I have 6 characters here. If you'll notice, if you're familiar at all with Venn diagrams, there's actually 4 characters right here who like Smoothie King and 4 who like Worlds of Fun. Monica and Chandler, they both like both of them. So they like Smoothie King and they like going to Worlds of Fun. There might be somebody out here. So let's say Ross's little boy, Ben. He doesn't like either of them. So he might be outside, and that's okay too. Okay, so I want to get into the first new thing. So it's called roster notation. So I'm going to call this set that likes Smoothie King. I'm going to call this set X. And so set X is going to contain the elements. We're going to talk about that in a second. Rachel, Ross, Chandler, and Monica. And each of these are called elements. So there are 4 elements in set X. And roster notation just lists the elements. So set Y, this is a group that likes Worlds of Fun. It's going to be Chandler, Monica, Joey and Phoebe. There's also 4 elements in this set. So that's a new vocab term for us, is elements, and also roster notation. So that's just listing, as opposed to set builder notation or set notation. This is going to be describing. So it always starts out X in a line. So this is read X such that. So make sure you write that down. X such that. That's kind of a big deal because we're always going to do that. So I'm going to say students who like Smoothie King. And that is going to be our set X. So our set Y, we're going to start off with X such that. So X is just like our variable. So it's going to be students who like going to Worlds of Fun. Okay, so these are 2 different ways of saying the same thing. So in our survey, the students who like going to Smoothie King, that's Rachel, Ross, Chandler, Monica. And then the students who like going to World of Fun, we're just, so it's the same thing. We're getting to the same information. It's just a different way of talking about it. Okay, so I want to get back to these elements the symbol for elements is this kind of like weird, funky. It's like a curve, and then it almost looks like a little like cursive E maybe, or maybe italic like big E. So so I want to say that, let's say Monica. Who is she a member of or an element of? So I could say that Monica is an element of X, and I could also say that Monica is an element in Y, in set Y. So these are sets, and these are the elements in our sets. Okay, so if I have both of these sets coming together, so I'm going to highlight this whole thing. So this whole thing, that represents, so I'm going to undo that, but you get the idea. That represents the union. So the union of sets X and Y, that's when everything comes together. And we're going to write this in this special symbol like that. That means the union. And that's everything. Everybody's coming together for the union. So let's see. Who is in the union X and Y? Well, it's all the Friends characters here, except Ben. He doesn't like anything. But if we're talking about the set of who likes Smoothie King and who likes Worlds of Fun, it's going to be all the Friends characters. Okay, so this is a new definition, union. Another one is going to be intersection. So the intersection is what they have in common, and it's going to be written kind of the opposite of what we wrote that. So it looks like that. So let's go back up and see what they have in common. So X and Y has this section in common. So Chandler and Monica represent the intersection because that's what they have in common. Okay, so let's go back. So in this format, the intersection, we have 2 elements, whereas in the union, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. Okay, now I have a new example. So instead of, let's go back up here, instead of having a format like this, I'm just going to focus on the X. So people who like Smoothie King. So we know that Rachel, Ross, Chandler, and Monica like Smoothie King. So we're going to come down here and we're going to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to say that Z is the set that likes Smoothie King's banana shakes. Okay, banana smoothies. So Monica is the only one in this group that really likes Smoothie King. She is the only one that likes their banana smoothies. Everybody else thinks they're nasty. So Monica is the only one in that set, and she still likes Smoothie King. So we're going to say that Z is a subset of X. So everything in Z is part of X, and we're going to write it like this. So X is a bigger set, and Z is just like a piece of that. So Monica is an element of the set Z, but Monica is also an element of the set X. But what if Monica changes her mind and she's like, ugh, banana milkshakes are disgusting. So we've got this set Z now that's empty. And that's the actual definition of it. So Z is now the empty set. So when an empty set has no elements, it's called the empty set. We're going to write the empty set. You can write it like this. That's probably the most popular. Some people write it like as a set with no elements in it. So it looks like this. Either one, that is our last new definition called the empty set.